What is up, everybody, and welcome into the pregame show. Oh, my goodness, bringing the energy here. Wait, where is everybody? What the hell?
I fired everyone. I didn't tell you.
Oh, is that what happened? What did they do? It doesn't matter. Did they look at you wrong?
They just didn't look at me enough.
They didn't look at you. You do like to be looked at. That is one thing I know about you. Saturday night at the DNVR bar, the vibes are immaculate. We are feeling good. The Nuggets on a bit of a winning streak here, hoping to make it 5 in a row. 5. I'm very hopeful. I'm Adam Mares. I'm joined, of course, by, you guys know him as Eric, but his name is D-Line Co.
That's right, guys. I've eaten all of the other co-hosts. It's literally just Adam and I now. This is his worst nightmare. My greatest dream. Let's see how it works out.
Even super producer Kale Knight here. I mean, all the mistakes you're seeing on screen right now are the result of one. What's the opposite of a super producer? Just a regular old producer you got here.
Standard issue
producer you got here is here, man. Standard issue producer. So we do have a fun show for you tonight. Actually, I don't know if we have a fun show.
No,
we have some fun parts, but we have one kind of a downer. We're going to talk about the big story that came out a couple days ago from the Sports Business Journal about the Nuggets TV ratings, which are like laughably pathetic.
Dude.
Like the most flaccid ratings you could ever see. Just shriveled up tiny little ratings.
Those, as terrifying and awful as those ratings were to look at, the way you just described it.
It was appropriate. We're also going to talk about Jokic going genius mode, or was he in this last game? One of my favorite little things, and I'm glad somebody caught on to it, so we're going to talk about that. And then, of course, I've got a single game parlay on DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Right now, there is this little bonus you can get for a single game parlay. If you bet $20, you get a free $20 single game parlay. Is my math wrong here, Eric? Doesn't that mean you have to do it? If you bet $20 and you get a free $20, you just take that deal, right?
You have to do it.
You have to do it. I mean, it's just like you have
You're
to.
You're morally obligated.
Morally obligated. I feel that. So tonight, though, the Nuggets are playing host. This is the second of a home and away. The Nuggets started with a road win. Now they are at home against the Sacramento Kings. As Michael Malone, in his pregame commentary today, mentioned that his tenure in Sacramento was short-lived. I think 7 times. Every time he'd be like, I was in Sacramento, and that was short-lived. And my brief time, that was short-lived in Sacramento. It's kind of funny. I love that he holds this grudge. I just love it.
That's called having something stuck in your craw.
Yeah, it is.
Michael Malone clearly feels as though he was wronged.
Yeah.
That injustice was served.
Yeah.
And the rest of his life is going to be devoted to making the Sacramento Kings pay.
You know what's funny, though? If you really gave him some truth serum and said, like, hey, man, if you could go back in time and you were with the Kings for 7 years, or you got fired, but you got to coach Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets, he'd be like, oh, no, this worked out great.
Oh, I know. See, but that's not the point.
The point
is that somebody with power and influence told him he wasn't good enough. So
right.
Now he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think he'll ever let it go?
No. Absolutely not. I got let go from the job. It's not something that's like up in my mind all the time. But if I went to do a design off against that,
right? Yeah.
Place,
you'd want to
like,
yeah.
They let me go. Probably a mistake.
Yeah.
Look at we're doing good here today, but we're on to Sacramento.
A design off, huh? A design off.
Yeah.
What is there anything you hold a grudge? Like, what's your biggest, deepest grudge? I like this therapy here. Like,
I know.
Eric, what is
let me think about
when was the time someone has wronged you that you've never forgotten?
I think I just mentioned it. I think I got let go from a job. I didn't feel, you know what? Xylem. I know you're watching. I know you're listening.
Xylem. Zeke Naji is out tonight. So whatever's going on with him, this knee, what do they call it? They had a weird name for it, this knee thing. Continues to be an issue for. I got something in my eye.
Yeah,
I'm off to a really rough start.
It's fine,
here.
Adam. It's just like,
I know it is live.
There's 2 of us on the show, and you're
take
less
the wheel
than.
about Zeke Naji here.
Zeke Naji has a knee thing, as you've very clearly pointed out.
Yeah.
That is. I never like to see guys that have injuries coming out of a break.
Yeah.
It's always bothersome.
Yeah, it is bothersome.
For example, Ben Simmons, who has taken the break of the entire season, is still is not actually suited up.
That's a whole other story we probably won't get into. Tonight, so DeMarcus Cousins officially with the team now. I suspect he'll play. In fact, he's one of the big storylines. I'll get to that in a little bit. But would you guess what Michael Malone said when the contract went through and it became official? What do you think Michael Malone did?
I think he probably
What is he?
Called him and
No.
gave him a high five?
Not a high five. No, he likes to grab a guy.
Oh, you think he gave him a
No,
hug?
he said I grabbed him. He said, I just hugged him. I just grabbed him and let him know I love him. And
I want to be known for a guy that grabs a guy.
that's what he always says. I grabbed him.
Should we start calling him Michael Grab a Guy?
Yeah, he grabbed DeMarcus Cousins. This was a really cool story, though. Isaiah Thomas, who's with the Nuggets G League team now, the Grand Rapids Gold, and by the way, dropping 40 a game right now Isaiah Thomas might be in the Jimmer Fredette zone where he's like
100%.
way too good for every level of basketball, but not good enough for the NBA.
I know.
It's like it doesn't make sense that he is in that little zone.
Man, the NBA is,
I love IT though. I don't even want to say
I
anything
love
bad
IT
about
too.
him. I really love IT.
The NBA is the level of competition that exists in the NBA is so unbelievably steep, and it's funny because you see in off seasons you see Hoodie Mello, you see all these guys
right.
going in empty gyms and they can't miss a shot, and then they get on the actual floor against top tier defenders, and it's like a very different situation.
It's very different.
It's complete. You're right. Like Jimmer Fredette, like every offseason scores 90 points.
He had 50 in the. I think it was Murray's rookie year coming in, and he's playing alongside Jamal Murray in summer league, and he put up 50 piece. And the Nuggets brought him in to be like a floor spacer to get a look at Murray, but he just couldn't miss. He was way too good for summer league. You're like, how on earth is this guy this good, but that bad at the NBA level? Anyway,
dude, Isaiah Thomas is like going to be remembered, I feel like, as a tragic figure in the NBA.
I think he is because he didn't really ever secure the bag.
He never did.
It's not like he's poor,
remember the quote was like, they better back up the Brinks truck.
It's honestly, IT is a great dude, man. I really enjoy him. So I hope he does get like one good contract. I don't know if it's going to happen. But he did reach out. The reason I brought him up was he actually reached out to DeMarcus Cousins and Michael Malone to congratulate them. And it's cool because that was a trio in Sacramento. There is a small part of me, Eric, that thinks, it's not going to happen this year, I don't think. But there is a little part of me that thinks like, you know what? It worked out so well with DeMarcus Cousins. I know IT did it. He wasn't healthy. He was trying to come back. It took half a season just to get his chance to play. But there's a little part of me that thinks like, man, I don't know. I would love to see like one good feel-good moment from him with Michael Malone. They'll be like, hey, we're all feeling great now.
The Nuggets just become where old ex-Kings players, anyone involved with the Kings comes to get redemption.
We have Stauskas, I think.
We do have Stauskas. So Michael Malone, IT, Boogie Cousins, anybody else?
This is really bad. I think Tyreek Evans is now eligible to return to the NBA or something. But he asked why DeMarcus Cousins responded well to him. He just said day one he coached him tough. He's like, I learned from my father. You can't. Everybody's going to be looking at you. How are you going to coach Boogie? I coached him tough right away.
Coaching Boogie is like your first day in prison. You have to start a fight with the biggest guy in the yard so that everyone knows you're not a punk.
I was like, wow, he's going to yell at this guy. It's funny. He talked about Will Barton becoming a three-point shooter who is, I don't think, going to make the record tonight, but he is zeroing in on it. It probably will happen over this home stretch that they're going to have. Of course, they have a back-to-back tomorrow in Portland, but after that, some home games. It'll probably happen, and I hope it happens there. But Michael Malone said it hasn't happened on accident, and I really do think that's the cool thing about Barton. Was not a shooter, and now he is. The best note that he had in the pregame commentary, he talked about that second unit and what they've sort of, they've started to get a little traction with DeMarcus Cousins bringing. And he says, and this was the most important thing, they've had, if you really look at it, they've had so many different guys in and out of the lineup. And he says with the addition of Bryn Forbes and the addition of DeMarcus Cousins, but also just with the addition of it's been the same guys for like a lot of games, or mostly the same guys. And he says he thinks that they haven't, for the first time, the second unit has an identity, like their own identity. And he's like, when you have that, you can build off it. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, that second unit, now we know how it's supposed to work.
This has been our complaint the entire season, is that we don't even know what like who is on the second unit. Right. I mean, it just has been a revolving door.
Even last game that was this way without Zeke and Boogie, we're like, I don't know.
Boogie, right. But just even the style of play that they want, with the 3-guard lineups, the Dos Verdes, all of these like weird, wacky combinations of players that just happen to be available at any given time, and just putting them together have never made sense. They've been terrible the entire season until the addition of Boogie, which is like the craziest thing ever, and Bryn Forbes. Those two, there's like a little bit of like magic between those two, like Bryn Forbes having screen set for him by a large gentleman actually like allows him to spring out, and that's a guy that can't create his own shot, but that's a guy that can knock a shot down. Boogie just being a big guy allows other players to sort of like stay in their lane. So I mean, it's the worst part is like how obvious it was the whole time.
Right.
We like everybody knew what the problem was.
Yeah.
It took like a really long time to get here, but we in here.
Well, speaking of a large guy setting screens, Boogie tonight, he's so interesting. But before I get to Boogie and his matchup, you mentioned the screening. One of the storylines from this last game was Davion Mitchell hounded Bones Highland the entire game. And I thought Bones handled it well, even if Davion outplayed him. But tonight, that's the thing I'm most interested in. I want to see, actually I should say second most interested in. I want to see, does Bones Highland, how does he handle Davion the second time around? And two, does having DeMarcus Cousins out there actually make it easier?
Yeah.
One, because you have a paint presence, so you put pressure there. But also maybe just because you're getting screens out on the perimeter.
Yes. I mean, the one thing that I just noticed in watching Bones go up against Davion is that he was putting like extreme pressure on him, as he's known to do, and I mean that's just like kind of that guy's game. But Bones was like putting his chest into him as he was coming up. Like he wasn't like trying to just hide the ball from Davion and like having to change his route. He was just like running into him like a linebacker, which I thought was so cool. I mean, like in the end, he didn't outplay him. But yes, I think that having the bench be something where they can actually rely on one another, look for one another, have some semblance of a plan in place. Like I think it's going to change everything.
So the Nuggets won by 18 points on Thursday because my inclination is to say, Sabonis scored all their points in this last game. He was kind of dominant, in particular dominant against Denver's bench because JaMychal Green's not really a center, right? Now you throw DeMarcus Cousins out there. He's good. He's big. He's going to put pressure on him. By the way, Boogie draws fouls. Sabonis was in foul trouble anyway, so now he's going to be in foul trouble against two guys, or at least trying not to foul. So my question is, the Nuggets won by 18. They kind of kicked ass last game. Should we expect the Nuggets to win as comfortably tonight when you add DeMarcus Cousins to the mix?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, like we watched the Nuggets and the Kings play pretty much like head to head. Like it was pretty even through three quarters, and then as soon as Nikola Jokic was just like, all right, enough of this, it was just game over. So, I mean, I can't imagine a scenario where Jokic is going to be less effective tonight, and I can't imagine a scenario where Sabonis is less effective. So I think they're going to win by 30 points tonight. Let's go.
So we'll move on to our second topic, which might be our top story tonight. I don't know if you guys were on the interwebs yesterday. Sports Business Journal dropped this graphic as part of an article. You can go ahead and pull that up. Our own Harrison Wynn tweeted it up. You go through local television ratings. Number one at the very top. Look at that outlier, by the way. Golden State Warriors. Talk about a smart owner. That is an owner. He is cocky as hell, right? Joe Lacob, cocky as hell, annoying as hell. But you know what? He took a great player in Steph Curry, a great team in that Warriors team, and he turned them into this juggernaut that is so much more popular and far-reaching than every other team that they are going to make money on that property 1,000-fold for years and years to come. Scroll down the list till we find the Nuggets there. Let's see. You keep going. Oh, my God. Dead last. 0.19. This is their Nielsen rating. Is that right? What the heck? Eric, we know the reason for this. Yep. It's because they are not widely available. People always ask, and I saw a lot of people say, yeah, well, everybody in Denver illegally streams. You don't think people in the Bay illegally stream?
Right.
Illegally streaming is not unique to Denver. Denver maybe has a little bit more than most people of illegally streaming because of this, but I'm sorry. This right here is maybe the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life, that you have one of the greatest athletes in Denver sports history, the best Nugget of all time, and the worst viewed audience in the entire NBA. Eric, are you as mad as I am when you see that? I mean, we knew it, but to see it is like...
I mean, I tweeted this the other night after seeing it, and I believe this wholeheartedly. I think that it's immoral.
It is immoral
to keep Nikola Jokic away.
You're not joking. This isn't a joke, by the way.
No. It honestly, Nikola Jokic is pure joy.
Right.
Watching Nikola Jokic play basketball is something that fills the viewer not only with joy, but if you live in Denver and you're able to associate him with you, it fills you with pride watching somebody like that. Like, the city of Denver is being deprived of pride. They are being deprived of identity. They are being deprived of the gift that is Nikola Jokic. I know a lot of people watch still online, but the point being, it's like, my mother is not watching.
Right. Oh, of course.
She would be.
This is the point. The barrier, this is the proof. Like when people are like, well, you could just do this, you could just do this. This is the proof that if you can create a barrier of entry, even if it's a small one that you 25-year-old, out of college goes like, oh, I know my way around it. It doesn't matter. There's a barrier of entry there that just prevents people from watching it as naturally as else. But here's the other thing, because I do think that this, if Denver did have a Comcast deal, I still think they would be a little bit low. Part of what I think about this is, the reason, I mean, they're obviously like laughably low, but I wonder if they would be like how much higher they would be. But here's the thing. I was talking about this with somebody. Jokic won MVP last year, right?
Yep.
That was the thing that happened?
Yep.
Were there billboards all over town? Or like there a poster? Was there a mural all over town? Like this is my thing. When you have a special talent, you're right. It is. Owning a professional sports team is not just a business.
No.
It really is like you owe something to the city.
Yes.
A basketball team is so important to a city and unifying a city. And when you only reap the benefits from that thing, but you don't let that go back into the community which you care about, like to me, this is a thing that we said a lot of nice things about the Kroenkes lately, especially, like they did build a winner, and the team they have, like they deserve credit for the way they have gone about it. But there's this other half of it, and is how do you engage with the people who are paying all the things? And before long, you're going to ask them to pay for a stadium. How do you engage with them? This is the proof in the pudding of you did not do a good job.
To me, the symbiotic relationship that exists between team owner and city is that you get to license, in a sense, you get to put the name of the city on the front of your jersey.
Yeah, you do license the city. It's true.
Your business gets to embody the concept of the city. Like if you just want to own a business, like be like the Monfort, just like own a beef packing company, like rent out porta potties. Like, there are a number of ways if you're looking to make money, but like this is something that is so much deeper and it's so deeply ingrained into the identity of everybody that is part of the city. Like if your team that says your city or state's name on the front of the jersey sucks, you personally feel bad.
And here's what's frustrating about it, Eric. There's no way to talk about this without being a humble brag. So I'm going to have a little humble Adam brag corner.
I think we'll all appreciate the
humble
part of it.
Really, the humble. I'm going to be so humble about this. No, we are 26 days into the month of February, which is at present. It actually was two days ago.
I know where this humble brag
we had the most downloads, not YouTube views, downloads in Denver Nuggets podcast history, which means in Nuggets podcast history, the DNVR Nuggets. I would know because I know I also run Locked On, which is the number 2 Nuggets podcast in the world. You can check these rankings. So this month of February right now that we're talking about is the most interest our show has ever had, which tells me it's the most interested. Like people are discovering new things and finding this. And by the way, this is like 5 straight months of setting records for the show. So when you see like the worst, you're thinking like, don't tell me it's the audience. The audience is there and craving this, like what we are providing, but they don't just want us. They also want the billboards. They want the well, okay.
Listen, the Nuggets are 18th in attendance, which is dead middle, right? Like that tells you that there is interest. People go to the games, but people going to the games, that's a financial barrier. Yeah. People are still willing to climb over it to watch the Denver Nuggets.
Right.
But there is the concept of bringing in the passive audience that doesn't have to actively look. I mean, there's a lot, like there are any number of sporting events that are happening at any point in time. If you just kind of turn the television on and you will just passively watch because it's on, you might find yourself watching an interesting game. You watch Nikola Jokic, you get interested, you watch the next game, you watch the next game. This is how you become a fan. Like the part where there's just a whole generation of people that have to actively search out watching the Nuggets is such a barrier to entry that you're not only losing what the viewers of today, but you're losing viewers of tomorrow. Like the ripple effects, the butterfly effect of this is going to be so unbelievably damaging and impossible to calculate. It's great for us, like because people are already online. Like it's an easy transition to come over, watch our show. They're already pirating it, but we don't want to just. I mean, we'll be fine. Like
we'll be fine. Don't worry about us. Like
let's just get on goddamn. Like, can we get on TV? Like I very legitimately, very wholeheartedly believe that the people that are in charge of making the deal with Comcast, especially Comcast and Altitude, need to face legal consequences for this. I think this is much larger than just
By the way, there's a third person involved in all of this, and that's the NBA. That has been a forward-thinking league in terms of like technology and this or that. And this is one area where they just have been caught with their pants down because it's actually starting to happen in other markets as well. And I'm sitting here thinking like, you just don't get, what is the saying, like no one lights a candle and hides it under a bushel. This is what Jokic is a
What
candle.
a folksy little.
It is folksy, isn't it? Jokic is a candle that the whole city should be, but for some reason it's hidden under this bushel. And we're like, look, there's this beautiful shining bright brightness.
Is the bushel fireproof? I don't understand this.
It's a very wet bushel. Very, very wet bushel. Can't be lit.
I'm going to refer to you as the wet bushel from this point forward.
Let's play a clip here for Genius Mode, guys. One of my favorite things, we've talked about this on the podcast before. Jokic has a sneaky thing he does at end of games. It's one of my all-time favorite little Jokicisms. As soon as you play this video here, it's a long one. It's 52 seconds.
Producer Yahir.
Standard issue producer. Whenever you're ready to play the clip, we'll wait for you, Yahir. All right, here's Jokic. They made it. Nuggets up. We're just trying to run out the clock. All right. Here we go. Let's see what happens here. All right, little jumper. First of all, he's not even trying to guard these. Like, ball bounced away from me a little bit there, ref. You mind helping me out? Thank you. Yeah, you don't have to give it to the ref, by the way. The ref's like, bro, I don't want this. And they get better as the game goes on, though. Like, I get scored on. Like, damn it. Hey, he's pushing. All right, you know what? Let me go get the ball. He passes him. Hey, bad pass, ref. Ref, bad pass. Watch this. Look at him. Look at Sabonis. It's like, come on, man. How long does he get to turn it in? It's like a 10-second throw in. And then it's my favorite one. He pretends to hit it, then they throw it to him. Oh, God damn it. Yeah.
These damn Butterfingers. What am I to do? Meanwhile,
I'm so bad.
Meanwhile, when it comes to a rebound, if a ball touches any part of his body, it like suctions to it.
That's one of my favorite little things. I just hope people appreciate it. I hope the NBA doesn't take it away. If Chris Paul did it, I would absolutely hate it. I'd be like, somebody find him.
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
We'd call it like the Paul pause, and we'd be like, oh God, he's gonna do the wipe or the swipe through and the Paul pause all in one day. Screw this guy.
But I just love part of it is because the like physical comedy of it all, where
it really
they throw the ball to him and he kicks it as if he actually I'm so clumsy.
Well, it's hilarious when you know what's happening, right? Like it's just even more hilarious. It's like watching a little kid trying to get away with something.
Yeah, totally. It's like, even the ref knows. The ref's like, it's like legal plausible deniability or something.
I hope he keeps doing this. And the ref looks at him like,
the ref's like,
Jokic.
I technically can't start counting unless I can somehow prove in a court of law that he knows better. Just fumbling the ball and everything. It's so great. He really is the best. It's like the physical comedy's off the chain. Super chat comes in. It is Couponzer. He says Mitchell's gonna flop like a fish every time Boogie screens him.
Hell yeah, he is.
You know what? Whatever. He was a bad flopper, wasn't he?
He was a bad. Well,
I love him. He was a 10 out of 10 prospect to me. 9.5. Got downgraded.
Well, I would say he was a fantastic flopper.
Oh, he was.
He got his way. It's very obnoxious.
It caught up to him though, didn't he? Oh no, the one at the end he got right. Yeah, we were gonna review it and he somehow upheld. So dumb.
Disgusting. Oh yeah. Prayers up, our man Pete Vogt stuck in the.
He went on vacation.
Brazil.
I don't know. I feel left out of you. Like, come on.
Brendan took one of these vacations where he actually just moved somewhere.
It's like he hasn't he's gonna get as many more checks before hey guys, this flight's really delayed.
Yeah, he basically is pulling the Nikola Jokic inbound of traveling. He's like, oops, I wish I could get on a plane, but that's
yeah. If you want your chat, if you want it read, you have to send it. I don't like that you wrote super chat.
Oh, another super chat.
We miss you too, Vogt. Get well soon, homie. Get home soon. All right, everybody's favorite part of the show. We're going to make some money. We don't have Dev, so we're probably going to lose.
Well, all right.
We do have Eric. While you were opening up your app and going through all the things, can I give you, so I said there's a single game parlay boost. This is the one I went through. Tell me if these are going to hit, Eric. Actually, yeah, you tell me too. Are these going to hit? The Nuggets are going to win the first quarter.
Yes.
All right. Oh, man, it just logged me out. The Nuggets are going to win the game.
Yes.
Nikola Jokic is going to get 12 rebounds or more. Aaron Gordon grabbed 6 rebounds in the first quarter that Jokic had, and he just let Aaron Gordon get them.
Here's my thing, is that the Nikola Jokic-led Denver Nuggets without backup, Boogie Cousins in tow, beat the snot out of...
Will Barton had a season high.
I'm nervous about...
Monte Morris was 7 of 9.
I'm nervous about garbage time. I have garbage time fears.
Is he going to grab 12 rebounds? He's not grabbed 12 rebounds 4 times.
He had 13 last time. I think you will. Okay. Or actually, he had 12 last time.
He had 12. Yeah, I needed 30. All right, wait, hold on. I got more to this.
Okay.
Monte Morris, I don't know if you guys saw, Iowa State is in the house tonight. Iowa State fans all there. They love him. They show out once a year. 2+ 3-pointers made.
Oh, what?
2 plus 3-pointers.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Home game, Monte at home, Iowa State in the house.
Smoke. Can
This
you
is a tough one.
Why don't you drop that to 1?
No, because I had to get this up to plus 300.
Okay.
Because the single game parlay has to be plus 300. And then Jokic 1 steal.
Oh my God! What do
I'm
you have?
telling
We had
you.
like 8 last time.
So you bet 20, you win 80 on that deal. That's a good deal. Plus, you get a free $20 bet just for making it. So it's like you can't lose. I got it, man. I'm in. You have to opt in, though.
Just to be clear, anyone watching,
you can lose. You definitely can lose. You can lose.
If any of those things.
In fact, they think I will lose 2 out of 3 times. They actually think I'm more than likely. Yeah, they're very confident I'm going to lose.
Yeah. That's actually how betting works. You can lose. Just FYI.
All right, what else are we doing tonight, Eric?
All right. I'm still on Bryn Forbes. 3-point shots. I'm loving it. He hit 2 last time.
I'm loving
he took
it.
3. Yeah, dude. I'm this. Oh, I have my personal segment sponsored by McDonald's.
Oh, wait, can I tell you? There's another parlay. There is a Jokic parlay. They have it ready for you. It is Jokic 25 plus points,
dude,
15 plus rebounds, 8 plus assists, 2 plus 3-pointer. You're right. That's a bad one.
Because they like
bet.
me think that there's a good chance for garbage time tonight.
It's also just like all of those numbers are really high.
They're very high, dude. Super chat. What is the new sponsor where we can watch?
Ivanka TV. Ivanka TV, guys. You got to check them out. EVOCA TV.
Yes.
We've actually had a bunch of people. This is the coolest thing, man. I love when people switch over to or try one of our sponsors and then send us if you're drinking Ranch Rider, take a picture of it, send it to us. If you're drinking Brecht Brew, if you get Ivanka TV, send it to us. Tag them in it. Let them know. It's honestly the best thing you could do. Ivanka TV rules. Everybody loves them right now.
Yeah. Get Ivanka TV. I'm getting Bryn Forbes at minus 125 for 1.5 threes.
Okay.
What is the issue here? This man is hitting. He's on fire.
Yeah.
And we just had a whole first segment where we talked about Boogie Cousins setting more screens for him, springing him free. Why should he hit 2 last time?
Can I give you one reason? Davion Mitchell really disrupted the second unit's ability to get the ball moving.
Okay. And?
All right, Bryn Forbes, 1.5
He hit 2
threes.
last time. Why is he not going to hit 2 this time?
I'm in. All right, I'm telling you I'm in.
All right. Do we like the Will Barton revenge tour to continue on to another city?
No.
We don't like that. Okay.
I mean, he had a great game, but
do we like I kind of like should we pull a Dev?
you can if you want to.
Should we?
Do I have the hiccups like a child?
So you've had eye issues, now hiccups.
I'm a disaster. I'm a wreck over here.
Just FYI, there's only 2 of us on set. If you go down, it's literally just
yeah.
me. And then I'm just going to turn this into online with D-Line. It's going to be a disaster.
I'm like the mouse that falls into the ale.
What? You don't know? Half of Adam's references all come from children's books at this point in time.
That's so true, man.
The pout fish, the mouse that falls into the ale.
Pout. Well, earlier you said wacky, and I was going to tell a story about Wacky Wednesday.
Do you have any adult-themed?
Because I was just reading it to my daughter last night, Wacky Wednesday, and when you're a kid, you point out all the things that are wacky. And now she's 7, and she still does. She's like, hold on, let's find all the things that are wacky.
I'll tell you what's wacky. It's just you and I on the set, and you're talking about children's books. Okay, so let's look at points.
Wacky Wednesday's a good one. Shouts Dr.
I
Seuss.
like Aaron Gordon came out on fire last time, and he sort of tailed off. I kind of like Aaron Gordon to have a big night tonight.
I'll bet it just for vibes. I'll bet it for vibes. He did tail off. That's the part that concerns me.
But I think that he's at home.
I think actually Sacramento's close to his actual home.
Yeah, and if you take into have you taken into consideration the vibes?
I haven't.
Okay.
But you're right. That's a great point.
So let's go points, rebounds, and assists for our main man.
Shit, I just took points. My bad.
Well, that's all right. 23.5 for Aaron Gordon. Over 23.5. I got to tell you, Adam, I love it. Let's mark it down. I'm going to lock that in. My actual lock is Bryn Forbes with the 3s.
Andy Glockner's correcting me that plus 300 does not mean you lose at 2 out of 3. You lose 3 out of 4.
All right,
plus
Andy
300,
Glockner.
yeah. So
All right,
you're just doing a little math. You come host the show. You think it's that easy? You come host the show.
We
right,
will,
plus 300
we will
right
not
here.
Be correct on
plus
our own goddamn show.
Plus 300. I would bet $100 to win 300. That's what it actually means.
Yes.
But they set those odds. Oh, maybe I'm wrong here. He could correct me again, Andy, if you don't mind. Is my posture good out there?
What about his eye? Did
you notice that part where I got the hiccups and couldn't stop rubbing my eye? How was that part?
Oh my God! Well, it's.
I'm just kidding. I love Andy Glockner. He's great.
And that takes us up to the end. It's 7:00.
All right, Nuggets Kings round two. Round two. Let's go. If you guys hated this pregame show, guess what? Stuck with us for the postgame.
You are not going to like the post. Although,
if you like this show, though.
but Harrison Wynn will join us from Ball Arena for a lounge. I'm not going to.
We do have some rakia if anybody wants to super chat that in the postgame for him to drink. Not for me, but for him to drink. All right, everybody.
Is that how that works?
All right, we'll see everybody after the game.
Let's go.